Today we are going to de-encrypt, decipher, and explain a science fiction movie, a Hollywood-based science fiction movie that is very popular, not just in the United States or in the Western world, but all over the world, all over the globe. This movie is very, very popular. Old people, young people love this movie. A lot of people love this movie, but behind this cinematographic entertainment, what are the elites trying to communicate in this movie? This movie has a lot of esoteric symbolisms and codes. That's why we're trying to explain it, because when many people go to see, not all movies, but certain movies, we know that elites are very interested in certain movies, right? Because they will never waste a good opportunity. And what better opportunity to control the people than through cinematographic conditioning, through the screens of televisions, through social media platforms, through the radios, through the newspapers? Do we really assume that the cryptic elites are going to waste any single opportunity to utilize these avenues to control the masses? They're not going to waste such opportunity. It is not in their DNA. And that is why the world elite, the global elites who run this world, have vested interest in Hollywood. That's why it's called Hollywood Babylon, because it is the center point of radiation of most mind control programs on this planet. There's a book called Hollywood Babylon. Read that book, it's well researched. We tell you few things of what is going on. The military industrial complex, the world military elites, particularly the United States, have also vested interest in cinema. And that is why some movie producers are actually getting money from the government, even though sometimes they run these black projects. So they're giving these movie makers money, but then they're not going to come in the open and tell you that they are giving these movie makers millions of dollars to put out certain movies to the population, because it is an avenue for global propaganda, for global mind conditioning. And that is how the global elites utilize Hollywood to control the minds of the people. So the movie we are going to analyze is called Jurassic World. The last one just came out, I think 2 weeks ago. Jurassic World Dominion was the name of the last movie that came. It's a series of movies they put out over the years. But if you don't understand occultism and cryptography, if you don't understand the United Nations Agenda 21, if you don't understand how the radical environmentalists think, if you don't understand how the Luciferian diabolical Satanists, who are the puppet masters of this world, think, you're going to watch that movie and you will entertain yourself. But in that movie, they are making dark humor. It is a dark humor of what is to come. I used to say all the time that there's nothing that these cryptic elites plan to do in the future without, in one form or the other, communicating it to you, letting you know. They don't worry about communicating their agenda, their plans to the people, because they know the masses are blind and ignorant. So they don't worry about you finding out, because they know you're not going to find out. There are other things that are preoccupying your mind, and only few people can decipher this occult encryptologies or encryptographies or ciphers, right? So the movie Jurassic World is echoing the language of the United Nations Agenda 2021, of green revolution, of biodiversity, of sustainable development, of using sciences to alter nature and change the face of the earth. So this is where the world is heading to. It is going to be the era of posthumanism. And as I said, if you watch the movie, you will see that locusts were genetically modified and they became almost indestructible, right? They're talking of human modification, because locust is a symbolism in that movie that represent humans, because locust is known for eating, consuming. They eat everything, and that's how they see you. They call you, of course, useless eaters. So you are the locust in that movie that was genetically modified, and those who refuse to be modified will extinct. Do you get it? The center point of that movie is geomodification, posthumanism. That is what that movie is all about. They are dreaming, mad scientists are dreaming of a future of post-human, and those humans who are not going to be wiped out are going to be genetically modified. So they are telling you about the power of genetic engineering in the hands of the Luciferian mad scientists and what they can do. Remember, the movie is symbolism, so don't be caught up with looking at resurrected dinosaurs, these humongous beasts roaming all over the planet, living side by side with human. Don't be caught up with that images, because that what you see, what you watch in the movie are only symbol. They are telling you the power, the potential of genetic engineering and what they can do with genetic engineering. What is that? Total terraformation, transformation of the planet by genetic tinkering. They're altering our genes, changing the codes of life to suit their own nefarious, diabolical, satanic goals and agendas. We also see that they talked about cloning in that movie. There's a British girl who played what's her name? I think Isabella Salmon. She played as Macy Lakewood in that movie, and she was a cloned child. You see how they are using predictive mind programming. They're conditioning you to believe that cloning humans is good as long as you have a child. Is okay. They're conditioning our minds to see it as a beneficial, benevolent scientific venture. The science of cloning, the science of genetic engineering, what they call CRISPR technology, which in one of my videos in the past I said is the modern state of the art science. Now they can edit gene, they can change the code of life and design new species on this planet. We also see another symbolism in that movie, which is locust. We see flocks of locusts that have been modified. And when they talk about locust, what does that symbol represent? It represents humanity. Humanity is locust, because what is locust known for? Locust is known for consumption. Remember, they call you consumers. You're consumers, you're eaters, useless eaters. That's how the cryptic elite see humanity. They don't like you, they don't love you. They want to extinct as many people out of this planet as possible through population control. Population control is also part of mind control. Not just in terms of bio-elimination or bio-extinction of people, but also controlling the mind, because when you control people's mind, you control them. So we see the symbol of locust, and locusts represent humanity who is called consumers. We see that at a point, a company called BioSyn was responsible in this gene tinkering or genetic tinkering or tampering with the code of life. BioSyn, the company was called BioSyn, which I believe is biosynthetic, biology infused with artificiality, which is a dream of this cryptocrat. So this company also represents the future of the mad scientists. They're going to change the planet. It's ongoing. And that is why you hear them talk about geoengineering, aquatic engineering, atmospheric engineering, right? Solar engineering. There's something now the scientists call stratospheric controlled perturbation experiment, which, if you say it in plain language, it means blocking sunlight from hitting the planet. Because they know that sunlight is very vital to biological organisms, especially to humans on this planet, and they're putting metals and frequencies in the upper layers of the atmosphere or in the stratosphere to make sure that humanity don't get direct sunlight. Have you ever realized with all the chemicals they are popping in the atmosphere that the sky no longer looks as bright as it used to? For example, when I was growing up, you used to see clear, blue, beautiful sky. Everything is dark. Now the sky looks foggy. It looks unclear because of all this solar modification, solar engineering, geoengineering, atmospheric engineering. And that is exactly what they're telling you in that movie. The Agenda 21 of the United Nations. The United Nations Agenda 21, which is camouflaging as environmental policies and programs and rules and laws that govern the whole planet. But this program is actually designed to eliminate as much people as possible out of this earth. Biodiversity, sustainable development, green revolution. Whenever you hear this concept, know it is the agenda of the United Nations that is being implemented. And this agenda is not good for humans because it is an agenda designed to introduce the new world order. They want more and more people to be trapped in the cities. Smart cities, right? Smart cities where everyone lives in the grid. Everyone lives under a technocratic control system, a dictatorial, communitarian type new world order. So that is their plan for humanity. And when we watch movies like this, we know that it is re-echoing the voice of the United Nations Agenda 21, which is the government to control raising children. And that is why, like, you can no longer even discipline your children because the government will step in and punish you for just trying to bring a little discipline to your children. They are taking over, right? These are programs designed long time ago by those who rule the world. They want to control educational system and design education as more of indoctrination to create workers, right? To create workers. We see in some part of Europe, the government is paying people money, huge amount of money, and in exchange for their lands, because they want rural communities to be emptied and everybody live in these high-rise miniature apartments in what they call smart cities. They don't want you to be independent. They don't want you to have the true spirit of republicanism. They want you to live in a communitarian type society controlled and ruled by the Luciferian technocrats, right? Where if you don't follow the rule, they will make life miserable for you. You're not going to have access to the internet if you don't follow the rule. You're not going to have access to resources if you don't get their job in the future. And as we say here, and wisdomize is to put wisdom into the minds in order to elevate our consciousness beyond the control of the three-dimensional system. Because when you elevate your consciousness, when you raise up your vibration, you will be able to see things as it is. Many people cannot interpret, they cannot perceive the world as it is. They see rather shadows. And shadows are copies of things. Shadows are not things in themselves, but they are fake copies of realities. So if your consciousness is able to elevate, if you're able to raise up your vibration, your eyes will open and you can see, you can understand how the world works and who runs the world, right? Those who run the world are agents of the system. They are the puppet masters. Sometimes I use the language Luciferian cryptocrats. They control all systems in this reality, in this condensed physical reality. All educational programming, all religious programming, right? All media, quote unquote, news, misinformation programming. They run all these things. Remember, the system is the machine. The machine is the matrix. The matrix is the belly of the beast. And the machine is wiser than a lot of people understand. The machine is older. And when I say the machine, I am talking of that facial consciousness of the great old ones, the fallen ones who have been here for millions of years. They're wiser. The interest they have is to capture the human soul within this three-dimensional reality so that we cannot imagine ourselves as beings that transcend physicality. And that is why majority of the people on this planet, their consciousness is condensed only within the three-dimensional system. And once your mind is trapped in the 3D system, you cannot understand how these Luciferian cryptocrats work. The whole earth is already undergoing this gradual transformation to create a world that is run by the Luciferian technocrats who are also mad, soulless scientists. And these are the kind of stuff we have to be aware of.